you're a teacher, you are an embodied coach, you help people around trauma. How do I present you?
I'm embodiment and trauma coach. So that's, if you want like title, you can put this title, and or you can write like embodied and trauma coach and facilitator.
Yeah.
It's quite simple. I work with individuals, I work with groups, and for me, like coaching and facilitators, it includes also that I'm teaching. So for me, it's like embodied and trauma coach and facilitator.
I will put it on there. And can I place you next to Mark Walsh as somebody who teaches and coaches with him? Or how is your work with him now? You study with him, or
I'm his mentee.
Yeah.
I'm his mentee, and I'm doing like learning assistant in his some of like when we are together on some workshop, because he does many workshops. So I'm learning assistant. Yeah, I already asked him, so you can put his name in the like info material info pack. And about he work also like in many war zones. He also started like big charity in Ukraine, where he taught many like trauma work or people, psychologists, social works, and other people who are working with others, trauma skills, working with trauma. And I would say like now Kiev is the biggest trauma informed and educated city with the most people who can work with trauma. So he's big in this world, he's big in embodiment work, and also about like conceptualizing in more coherent view. So we can do more about like trauma work, more about embodiment. So and also I can share, he has like podcast with 600 episodes. There's some when I would say he's explaining what he does, so people can also know and be prepared for his jokes.
Yeah, but that's amazing. And I don't care. I like the style. I think it's no problem. What we are particularly interested in the body retreat is the self-regulating quality of mind or body. Let's say, like the self-regulating qualities. And how to get out of the way of those self-regulating qualities. Like the body is always healing trauma. It's constantly healing. It's constantly reproducing. It's constantly working on that. The fact that it needs a long time to heal is because we are interfering with that, with our personal thoughts and our personal considerations and beliefs. And yeah, that's like something that would be interesting if he talks around that, because I saw a really small clip where he reacted on that the only thing to do is physical work to get past like depression, stress, like really build some muscle with some iron, instead of instead of going around and doing therapy and I don't know what. So I don't know how his stance now is around trauma and around work with that, how his work is.
Yeah, he like main stand is like what really like helps when you work with trauma is you can talk hours what happened and analyze why this happened, why I'm acting like now. But because trauma is like reaction of your nervous system, trauma really like is in your body, not in your, and influence your mind, influence your thoughts. But you really need to do like intervention on your body level. And it doesn't mean that you just like work on the body or just but it's to bringing your body back to sense of safety. And it's not just like okay, now it's safe environment, but really like the recapture to ability to feel safe in the environment in your own body. Because one definition of trauma I like is disconnection from your body, your sense of purpose, disconnection from others, disconnection from nature. So this kind of like big disconnections, and embodiment is connection to yourself, connection to your body. Embodiment is the way how you connect to others, how you connect your purpose to your to the nature. So
it's all about connection and restoring the natural flow of things that was interrupted by the experience we had with our like fear-based part of the nervous system, like the constriction of the thought and the fear-based experience. And like the embodiment exercises aren't actually healing, they are just re-establishing openings so you can connect to your natural restoration, let's say.
Yeah.
Is that a correct? Is that a correct?
Yeah, it's correct. With Mark, I did like trauma coaching certification, and the modality, I'm not as like therapist, I'm going to heal you, or the relationship, therapeutic relationship is healing you. But for me, it's okay. It's more about like competency model, and competency. What I mean by that is also okay. What I can really do in my body to be more like open, to really go from okay, trauma is my cage to trauma is my superpower. And
trauma is my superpower. I love that
yes.
one. Let's use that as a title. That's beautiful.
Mark used this title quite a lot, because if you see like there's many people and they experience something difficult, and they starting to developing some skill, some behavior, you know, okay, to be safe, okay, there's someone who needs to help, oh, I will be everyone helping to everybody, to be like people pleaser. And it's starting to develop this pattern as erection, as our erection of our nervous system. And but if you see like people later what they are do for profession, many times these people are starting to be okay, someone who helps others, therapists, coaches, or they, because they were in environment which was really chaotic, they really developed this quality, competency to listen others, to really be like empath. And if they work with them with this like kind of trauma reaction, or the scale which was developed as a reaction on trauma, and develop this like I would say so-called sidekick. Okay, I can listen, but also I can speak what I need. So it really becomes a superpower, because when you are in this chaotic environment, chaotic time, you're really starting to learn fast, because your body says, it's like life-threatening situation, I really need to develop empathy, listening skill. Or on the other side, like fuck you everybody, I don't need, I'm so how to say, I don't need anybody, I can do it all alone.
Yeah. That's amazing, because actually that's a new side on trauma, because at this moment there is a lot of, we need to get rid of things, we need to get rid of the experience, we need to let go the qualities that we develop because of this trauma. We need to let go, because that's not our personality, that's not who we are. Let's search for who we really are. But in fact, that's all not true. Who you really are is where you grew through. So this trauma has also a useful part in it, and a very powerful part. And I love the fact that you pointed out that you learn quickly and develop quickly in these hysterical situations that last for some people like an inch, like a bomb explosion is just an instant, but or like an abusive situation. They were all very heavy intense things, and you learn very quickly how to, you change very quickly. So it's kind of like an educational model.
Yeah. And I like it. I like it a lot that it's education and not.
Not
I think
healing.
like both, not the healing. I think that like both are important and could be used in different situations. But in this modality, I like the quote which we also doing with when we were on the retreat together. Imagine there is nothing wrong with you,
Yeah.
and maybe okay, maybe there's, and it's also connection with the softness and openness. Maybe for me now it's just like I don't have choice. I need to listen everyone. I need to please everyone. But if I soft, okay, I can choose to listen to you. It's my like free choice, and I can now because now I'm open. I'm relaxed. The choice to speak what is in my mind, what I truly want, is available. And it could be also in the opposite case, someone who is really independent. I'm going to do alone. I'm going to do now. I'm really perfect. Nothing going to stop me. It could be a really useful skill. Go like maybe like more strict, more okay. Now it's difficult situation. Maybe time when I want to really work more, like put more effort to my work. I can. It's accessible, but it's not necessity. And still, I have now choose. Okay, I can relax. I can just enjoy the taste of the meal today. So for me, it's about really like the bringing awareness when I really react, more like uh, when I'm more reactive, to bringing the awareness, to bringing the openness, and creating ability to choose easily different way of being.
That's crazy good. And you are going to bring some embodiment to the body retreat, and I'm glad we can connect that to the master session that we could do with Mark Walsh, where we could ask in depth some questions around it. But the value that we can have by experiencing for a few hours more embodiment exercise could really open up ideas people have or constrictions people have around trauma and trauma healing. And I really would love to point out that it's logical that there is a healing period. Like if you have some traumatic experience at work or in your family, it is logic that the body needs a time to heal. But it's actually not so long as we think. You don't need to suffer for the rest of your life because you had a horrible car accident where your wife died or somebody else died. There is a natural healing period, and after that, there is a growth, which is to be used there, and that would be, interesting to research those concepts because it gets a new sight on trauma. I think that's necessary in the healing world.
Yeah, I like the combination of the both, because if there are traumatic experiences, it was like it's quite fresh, or it was really particularly like deep. There's time when it's needed to be like healed. But like many people, uh, it was for some, how to say it. It doesn't have to be that the experience wasn't so like so deep, so or it's not so fresh. So they can go, as you mentioned, okay, the nervous system healed, repair, restore, and now it's part, okay, how can I have more freedom and go for like educational model.
Yeah. I have
And
a nice example, Daniel, from a person I thought I teach breathing techniques to because I teach some free divers how to hold their breath and relax underwater when they hold their breath for a longer time. And this person was not able to hold his breath for a long time because he was in a bomb attack at the airport. And So he had injuries on his diaphragm, but they were healed. But the doctors and psychologists told him, because he had a reaction of fear, he could not hold his breath, he could not relax, he was still anxious. And they really told him that that was his trauma and that he would be with that for the rest of his life. He needed to cope with that. He got medication to slow the nervousness down, and he would never be able to breathe in deeply and use his diaphragm normally. He would be like that because that was the effect of the bomb attack. But physically, there is nothing wrong. So there is a lot of terrain that can be gained when we look at traumatic experiences and our bodies, like you explained, and like Mark Walsh probably explains also. There is a lot of terrain to gain because this person cannot function normally because he is that. He labeled himself as that. So every day again, he uses that as, I am that. And then on the other hand, there are a lot of therapies out there that do rituals and that do special treatments to release the trauma. And to me, that's the same imprint of trauma again and again, because there is nothing to release. There is to get out of the way of the body and just feel that there is nothing wrong. Am I explaining this correctly?
I believe there's like more like I like also now I'm not sure if I like got what you were saying, and I believe that there's like more modalities and more views on trauma, and it's really good to use like all modalities because one what Mark is saying, and I like it very much, is on trauma, nothing works for everybody all the time. There are some modalities as like TRE, somatic experience, EMDR, and many others. And I know that I experienced something, and it was really particularly working that time, and it was working perfectly, and I need it. Later, it wasn't working, and I needed something else, and I see it also in the clients. And also about rituals, for me, it's about also it's not so much about like releasing trauma, but it's about recapture the ability to feel alive in your body, to feel safe, to learn a new way of being, to have new choice.
The ability to feel alive in your body again. Yeah.
Yes. And at the same time, I experienced also some rituals which were really helpful for me. I was I had some like anxiety disorder, and I had this like period of time when I really need like the healed and like restore capacity of my nervous system again. And I was really like tired, sleep. I need to sleep more than usual. I need to take also some like supplements because also sometimes people forgot that we are also like the body really needs good nutrient, and how big influence it can have on our brain or on our nervous system. And I did also some like coaching work, or I was coached. But one moment I was in a ritual when we do also this fire walk.
Mm-hmm.
And it was so a huge imprint on my nervous system that I am able to go against my fear and to do like the impossible, to like walk on the fire, like it was 6 meter long fire walk. And I felt that there after that moment there was something different. And it wasn't for me about releasing, but it was okay. Okay, I am alive, I can do it. And I feel strong again. I feel powerful. And because I feel powerful, I have choice. And also if you really in the direction of trauma, you feel that you are powerless, you don't have a choice. So
there is this automatic pattern. What made you feel powerful?
That I did something I wasn't able to do it. Like, it's impossible to walk on the fire. You will burn, or it's like, what? How is it? So that was, and also the community. That there was other. It was like men's retreat, and that they were seeing me and okay, we are together in that.
Yeah. I think community is important. And for me, the basic conclusion is it's all in the way I use my thoughts. It's all in my fear-based brain, because my body is just producing and healing. It's not. It's the same before the trauma or after the realization that I'm powerful. That like my digestive system, my body, it's just functioning. It's the way I perceive it that makes me powerful again. Is that something you can do something with?
Um,
Like the nervous system is the part that is infected by the fear and by is still in the brain, and it has an effect on how your sympathetic and parasympathetic reflexes work, I think.
yeah. What I see, it's like also when you are really into like trauma pattern or there's trauma, also your brain is changing. Also, and there could be, for instance, when we did like because I see that like the like how I like to see, and I am not saying that it's just like one view on that. It's really like the brain and body is really like interconnected, and also the nervous system. There's now a big thing on the fascia,
Mhm.
and how like the nervous connection are in the fascia and like in the whole organs, muscles, tendons, how it's really interconnected, and that for instance the fascia could be really like stick in some body parts, and I don't like saying, oh, you have trauma in the hips, because I don't see it as like truthful or as but it could mean what sometimes people mean by that, that for instance your psoas could be really like tensed, and it's also connected with spine, and it can also do that like now because it's really like stiff and stuck, and it's connected with spine when it's also the main nervous connection, that it creates a signal, okay, we are in the, it creates a sense signal into the brain that, oh, we are in the danger, we are in the danger. So I see that there are also like changes in the brain and in the body as well. So because trauma influences whole your being.
Yeah.
And what can be not supporting is that you perceive reality, okay, this is threatening, I can do it, I'm powerless. But also if you change your body, you change your perception.
Mhm. Yeah, true. And I experienced myself only yesterday that I have a back pain sometimes, and I realized when I'm in a certain state, the back pain comes up, and when I'm in other states, there's no back pain. And of course, I need myself to be healthy and fit and eat correctly as good as I can and rest well. And then there is this back pain. It doesn't show up on the on MRI scans or on Röntgen, but there is the back pain, and I know, and it also infects my bowels. Like I have some bowel movement problem then, and feeling tired a bit, and there is a feeling. So then I changed my state of being, like go and look for where is the aliveness here. Um, and then the back pain is gone, the bowels function well. So there is an enormous effect in the state of being you can bring yourself in. But I can imagine if people are not really aware of their state of being, that the path of experiencing their body in a relaxed state or using embodiment techniques, it can help to alter the state they feel themselves in. So that it's a pathway from both sides. Yeah, let's go up, and it's nice. Yeah, let's explore that in this week. I think you are in for Friday and Saturday. You are coming in. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm coming in Friday and I will be there till Sunday.
Oh, that's beautiful. So we have some time to explore the trauma story and how did you call it? The trauma
Superpower.
superpower story. The trauma, I'm gonna write that down. The trauma superpower story. Gonna make some posts around that. The trauma superpower story. Yeah, and I think it's an important part because a lot of people have to do with that. Also in health, like people think they sleep bad, people think they feel heavy allergy attacks, but sometimes they're not so heavy. And that always fascinates me. Why is it not so heavy? Why is it not a consistent line? And you could say it has to do with environment. No, it also has to do with other things. So you can influence that, how heavy your illness is or your pain is or your healing. I really believe you can influence that by working with the body. So that will be very interesting days, those last 3 days of the retreat. Yeah.
Uh,
Yep, if you want.
yeah, the topic of pain is really like for me. It's also like interesting because there's one thing you can. I had sometimes pain in my forearms,
Yeah.
and when I make stories, okay, it's such a huge pain. It's like again, it makes worse. It
Yeah.
makes it worse also if I'm stressed because I, the the pain is the mix of the like physiological
Yeah.
injury, but also of the like memories of the pain. So if there is some like you can feel pain and
Mm,
there's nothing physiological wrong. It could be really healed, but it's just the memory. It's same as a trauma.
mm,
There's nothing dangerous now, but still the memory of or because the amygdala doesn't know it's not directly connected with like perception of the time. So you can feel at the same time as you experience
mm,
uh, what your nervous system reacts on. And so it's mix of like memory of it, injury, and also the stories about it, because our brain, uh, the first task which brain has is to survive, and second is to move.
mm,
So sometimes we feel also the pain because oh, we need to survive. We need to okay. It could be like for children, it's very usual. They have headache, pain in the head
mm.
because they experience bullying in the school or the teacher is really like strict and they don't have a freedom there. So
Yeah.
brain, okay, we want to make this person safe. Oh, let's put a pain in the in the head so they will stay. So, but it's
Yeah,
like it could be like a whole different topic.
yeah, that's a completely different topic. It's also amazing. You have to try this. You cannot have pain at the same points at the same time. Try that one. I tried it with my kids a lot. Like your brain only can focus on one pain. You cannot have pain in both sides. So if you have a strong pain, hit yourself on the other side, and the pain will be less. I know it's not a very good therapy, but they use it in Russian and some Russian Cossack style martial arts. They use that to yeah. If you have a blow to the body will really hurts, they open you up and they start hitting the back. So the nervous system regulates contra the impact zone because they believe if the energy stays on one place and it stays contracted, the nervous system contracts even more around that place and you keep feeling pain. So if you have a very sharp pain, let somebody open you up and hit you on the other side, not like really hard, but it opens up the energy because the nervous system travels to the part where there is new communication and the pain goes away in the part that you at the first time inflicted. You can do that with breathing and also crying when you hit your nail, when you hit your thumb with the hammer. You don't say nothing. You just cry out because the condension of energy is so strong. You need to express, otherwise it will be even more painful. That's why the swearing and the shouting is when you hit something. It's a kind of a regulation of the trauma already there. The body does that automatically. I love that one. How the body automatically knows how to regulate and to this how do they call it, to rearrange energies in the body to regulate.
Yeah, I see that like the capacity of the body and the restoring capacity are incredible.
Yeah.
And for me, it's also amazing how this was in our society.
Yeah.
Because what helps to connect to ourselves, it was like singing, community, dancing, walking in the nature, some other like simple stuffs. And we have like many mechanisms which help us really like to put this block which we put to ourselves away.
Yeah.
And now we don't have so much like this stuff in our society nowadays.
And that's where the work of Joe Dispenza comes in for me, the Corent Healing of Corent's Healing. It is just that. It is realigning, I think, regulating principles or regulating energy in one's body or in a group of people. Like when a society has a constriction or a pain, the singing together, the connecting together, it is de-armoring tension zones in the South society. So that's important. You see that in big social structures also.
It's nothing about more information, because we have enough information. And I think that the people that you were just talking to, I hear that a lot, like not another course, not another workshop, not more information that I have to learn, I have to study. It's just that the direct experience, it transforms the way you are being and the way you are feeling in your body and how you look at yourself and the world around you, and that is an immediate change.
If the person listening to this, if you're like a practitioner, you work mainly through conversations, this might be really interesting for you, because you're gonna get an access to working physically with your clients. There's going to be things that you find and experience and see that are going to enable you to do very effective and basic things with clients that I don't see being used in many areas.
It's just like, and I said this before, when you cut your hand, you don't have to study or read in a book to close the gap in your hand. It just grows by itself. It speaks a language, and it the more you give it, the more you are in listening to that, the greater the possibilities are, and things become extraordinary good, like exceptionally good in your life. It's actually, to me, it's a new therapy model.